Yo, welcome to Simple B. It's your boy P. Y'all know what it is. Hit the subscribe button. Today we have a special guest. To be honest, I wanted to make a long intro, but I've been watching his highlights for a couple weeks now. This is straight up a bucket. That's the way I'm gonna present this guy. He's a bucket, and he just finished last year playing in Finland top league. Wesley Person Jr. Give it up for him,
How's it
man.
going, man? I
Man,
appreciate it, man. I appreciate you having me on.
yes. Thank you for joining me. And yeah, of course. So I didn't. I did a little research, more research today. But we're gonna get into the senior part later, which
Right.
kind of blew, kind of changed a lot. But my first question is, yeah, always, when did you start playing basketball? And when did you feel like, okay, this is my passion, this is the sport, this is what I want to make as my profession? But it feels like you were born into basketball.
Yeah. I mean, I was basically born into it. Ever since I can remember, my dad was in the NBA when I was really young. So, yeah, I just grew up around it, and I just fell in love with the game early. He would always take me to the games, to practices. Got a first-hand experience in beating a ton of NBA players, at a very young age. So that really inspired me, and one of the big reasons why, I chose basketball as one of my passions and continued on into having my own professional career as well.
Sure, okay. So I'm gonna jump from straight to your kind of last years in or high school. When did you
Okay.
realize as a player that you're actually that guy? Like you were, okay, you know what? I'm actually good. I mean, it can be earlier, but if I
Yeah,
gotta
I mean,
ask.
I guess it was quite early. Like I was pretty advanced, growing up just
Uh,
because I had the,
of course.
professional training from NBA player growing up. And yeah, I would say around 16, 17 years old, my first experience with the Nike EYBL. Um,
Okay.
I had some, monster performances, as a sophomore in high
Mhm.
school. And I think from that point on, just playing against the top level competition and showing that I can compete with those guys, that's when I kind of knew, that I could be a pretty good player. You know,
Yes.
um, Unfortunately, I didn't grow much more, and most of those guys, shot up to 6'6", some 7 foot. But
Yeah.
yeah, I've always felt like I could compete. I was maybe smaller, in stature than those guys, but I thought my game really spoke for itself. And at that point, I think I really felt like I could be really good at the sport.
Okay, so you are from Alabama, right?
Yes, I'm from Alabama.
So, and you're like 30 years old. Was it any, I don't know, known players that pe people know right now from your generation? High school, for example, or your high school years?
So on my AU, I played with Devin Booker on my AAU team. So with the Alabama Challenge, he was there.
He's all right.
Dante Hall is Yeah, Dante Hall is a pretty well known name.
Yeah.
He's playing EuroLeague now. He
Oh,
just
yeah,
signed
yeah,
to play
yeah.
in Greece. Yeah, just
Oh,
signed to
yeah.
play in
I've
Greece a
seen him
couple
play.
weeks ago. So those two guys for sure should be pretty well known in the basketball community.
Okay, okay, nice. And so when I saw that you went to Troy Trojans, right?
Yep.
Uh, honestly, I don't know. Where's that college located? Or is it
It's in
Alabama too?
Troy, Alabama. It's in Troy, Alabama, like
Okay, yes.
kind of southern part of Alabama.
Okay, so so now we're gonna get into your college career because honestly, looking at your numbers, you had a
Right.
phenomenal college career. Let's put it that way. Great 4 years. Like I can tell, like you basically played every season. Like you didn't have those. And can I say normal college experience where you
Right.
get there, sit out kind of the first year, get a little bit, and
Yeah.
second year, it builds up, and third, fourth year, that's when you actually,
Mm.
get more comfortable and better, and you'll have better performance and all that. You're balling straight out the gate, basically. So how was your college career or your experience playing? D1?
Yeah. So the crazy thing is, Troy is actually 20 minutes from my hometown, so I
Oh,
didn't have to go very far, to go to school.
okay,
And
nice.
yeah, I mean, I knew I could compete on the level, just from my experience in high school. And like you said, when I got there, like I had to hit the gun running because
Yeah,
two of the guys in my position, older guys who probably would have played way more minutes than I would, just because I probably my body wasn't ready yet, for that
yeah.
level. But those guys got injured, so immediately right away I was forced into the starting lineup, and I think my first Division I game was against Ole Miss, and I scored 25 points. So
That's a great
from
start.
that day on, I knew I belonged, and
Yeah.
I was ready. And yeah, I ended up having a really good career for myself. I'm Troy's all-time leading scorer still to this day. I'm the all-time leader in 3 points for the Sun Belt Conference.
You
So
are
yeah, I had
right.
a pretty
Okay. That's yeah.
yeah. So I had a pretty good career at Troy, and it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed my time there for sure.
So you say all-time scorer and 3-point leader.
Yep, 3 point
Yeah.
leader in the
Uh,
conference and
we
all-time
gotta make
scorer at
sure.
Troy.
Yeah, we gotta make that sound like sure. All-time right away. All-time scorer for Troy Trojans. Yeah, that's wonderful, man. So exactly. So here's where it kind of gets interesting. Oh, wait, before that question, let me get. Did y'all have any great season or a great season where y'all, I don't know, went to March Madness, or did y'all have a March Madness season? And how did that go?
Yeah, we did. Actually, my first couple of seasons we were really bad. I think we only won a total of about 20 games. But that third year we brought in some transfers. One was from Florida, a couple of JUCO guys, and we already had a pretty good young core. But once with those additions, it kind of put it all together, and we had ended up having a really good year. We
Yeah,
finished sixth in the regular season. So in the Sun Belt tournament, you have to win. Where in our position, we had to win 4 games in 4 days. So
yeah, right.
ended up winning 4 games in 4 days. Made it into March Madness, and we got to play Duke first round, and that was the team with Jason Tatum and Grayson Allen, Luke Kennard. So those guys were really
Oh,
good.
yeah.
But it
Oh,
was
you
a
played that team?
you know
Yeah, I
yeah,
remember
it,
that
it was a cool experience to get to
team.
play them. It was one of Coach K's, obviously one of his last years coaching.
That's
So
true.
yeah, it was a really cool experience. So I did get my one chance to play in March Madness from small Troy, Alabama.
Yeah. You played, yeah, you played some teams. So this question I'm gonna ask is gonna be a little different. This was one that came up after I found out what I found out today. Since coming from, I mean, having your father, and the manner as he is, we can introduce him later. But let's do it now. Listen, I mean, his father was a bucket too, and he's actually the
Yeah,
senior, Wesley Person Senior. I mean, yeah, I mean, crazy career. So we don't have to talk. Well, I mean, that's a whole other episode, I guess. But yes. So, did you feel like when you went in college, I mean, guys were or the teammate or the coaches were tougher on you because they knew they have to be tougher on you because of your basketball background, for example?
no, I mean, no, I don't feel like they were tougher on me. Maybe my expectations were maybe a little bit higher than others, and
Yeah.
I really pushed myself and I really worked hard while I was at college. I prided myself in being one of the hardest workers on the team, like just leading by example, showing guys the way to come in and day out, and be a professional, how to approach the game. So, yeah, their expectations for me might have been much higher than some of the other guys on the team, but I don't think they treated me any differently. I think they wanted the best out of all the players, and that's ultimately why we ended up having some success and were able to make it into the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, man, that's dope because I mean, at the end of the day, coming from a basketball family, it can be, of course, you have the knowledge and all that,
Yeah.
but having the dedication, all that, the work ethic, it's kind of tougher to have it.
Yeah,
So, which I really respect. So, yeah, kudos to you to actually have for all that, for your hard work and
I
becoming the
appreciate it.
player you are today. So, because I think now, after I found out who your father is, it feels like your basketball path is kind of tougher than
Yeah.
mentally than most the average player actually go through. if I can put it that way, because the way, I mean, growing up around basketball, I guess the way you did. So, one question I ask all my, oh man, I mean, the guests, which is a little tricky, but you get it.
Yeah,
Especially you, you had a nice college career. And you talked about maybe undersized here and there, but you're a bucket. You got game. I mean, your
I
game is
appreciate
not
it.
a
Yeah.
no, your
Uh,
game is not an issue. I'm not gonna talk about myself, but I know basketball a little bit, and I know game is game, bro. So you got game, and you had a you had the type of college career people wish they can have growing up. So, in your college years, when was it a moment where you started to realize, okay, maybe I gotta start thinking about overseas, or was it always NBA? And then after college, you kind of, pivot to Europe or overseas. How was that mental process for you?
yeah,
Yeah, basically
yeah. I guess
transitioning.
you kind of hit it. You kind of hit on a little bit. Just growing up, it was always my belief that that I would play in the NBA. So that was
Yes.
one of my dreams, one of my goals. So that was always what I was working for. And I would say around my junior year in college, that's when I really knew that I had a really good chance to play professionally, whether it was NBA or overseas. So I thought my game really took a huge step. When I came into college, I was really strictly just a shooter. But
Yeah, yeah.
after those 3 years in the program, changing my body, adding more things to my game, being able to play off the dribble and things like that, I really turned into like a complete player, and I knew I would be ready to play at the next level. And so, yeah, I would say around my junior year or so, that's when I knew that I had the opportunity to probably play overseas. And I think I did pretty well for myself and putting
Yeah.
myself in position, to get looks, at that next level. So that was kind of my journey there.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we're looking at your college career. I mean, number wise, I haven't watched the games like that. Well, I only saw some highlights. But yeah, looking at exactly your career, I mean, you still look like, I mean, you were at least qualified skill wise. I mean, to, put your name in the draft and then see what happens, if I can put it that way. But it's not that easy. It's not that easy either.
Yeah, right.
And so, uh, yeah, so basically, exactly. So the basketball word, and now because you didn't put your name in the draft, right? You never put your name
I
in the.
did. I
Oh
did
yeah, you
after
did,
my
right?
senior year. I did. Yeah.
What year was it? It's 17
This
or
was in 2018. 2018.
2018, and it was undrafted, I guess.
Undrafted. Yep.
Did you play summer league?
No, I didn't. I didn't play summer league. I worked out for around 20 teams.
Okay,
Um, then I had the option to play G League, but I ultimately decided to go overseas for my first year.
okay, yeah, yeah. I mean, this is a better basketball decision if it comes to choosing G League or actually playing professional everywhere, everywhere else
Yep.
outside the US. Okay, okay. So you actually went through that process because still getting to this basketball life is, the hit you can, the setbacks that you can get as a player is different than on a regular work life. We can put it that way. So now you just mentioned working up for 20 teams. That means you actually put yourself out there, did your best. And
Yep.
for some reason, sometimes it's not about the talent. It's just maybe not a great fit for
Not
whatever
a great fit.
teams are
Yeah.
looking for at the time. And the games is, now is analytics basketball all the way. It's not even, basketball like it used to be in NBA like that. So it's kind of all types of reasons. I'm just saying this to my younger audience. I really wanted to understand that some Americans that don't make it to the NBA, some people don't respect it like they should because I mean, it's not NBA. That's everything when it comes to basketball. There's so
Yeah.
much, and there's so much stuff going into just making it to whatever league you play into, or you playing or teams, all that. I mean, there's a million aspects when it comes to this game. Which you actually
Yes.
experience. So, which now we're gonna get into, of course, the more exciting part, I guess, is actually your professional career. Now,
Okay.
when you just explained what now you just explained going through, I mean, your college career, phenomenal career. Shout out to that again, and going through this the NBA process, I guess, of getting drafted. And still, you worked out for 20 teams, G League opportunity, but you decided to go to second league in Italy, right? Serie
Italy.
B,
Yep.
if it's
Yep.
not right. So
A2.
also
Yep.
H2. Okay, yeah, it's like soccer is Serie B, my bad. So
All right.
A2, right? So which is a really, really good league right away. You did some people start on when they go overseas. They kind of start in lower leagues and build themselves up because you
Yeah.
never know where you're gonna end up. And some. So how was it going to that league first year? That's a huge
Yeah.
jump,
I
to
mean,
be
it
honest.
was. Yeah. I mean, I didn't know much about overseas coming
Yeah.
out of college, so I really didn't know what to expect. But I think right away the physicality really hit me. The European game is much more physical, so I really
Okay.
had to, really had to really get in the gym and really put some more weight on to be able to handle the physicality of that league. And then also, A2 is a really good league. You only get two imports in this league, but a lot of
Good.
times teams will carry old veteran guards or bigs that have an NBA experience or some have just been
Yeah, for sure.
killing in killing in Europe, but they're kind of at the end of their career and they're just going here to for a big paycheck. So
Exactly.
the league was super competitive. Got a chance to play against a few former NBA guys in that league. There was a ton of talented guys, so I really had to be ready to compete every night just because of the talent level that was in that league.
So yes, exactly. And you actually, if I'm right, I think you've actually got a full season here. You actually finished the season,
Yep, full year.
which is really tough too when we're talking about especially that league. That's I
Yeah,
mean, we can say A2 here and there, but that's a top league level. So for the younger audience out there, that's a top level. So yeah, so you actually got through the that first year, which is to be honest really impressive because most Americans sometimes they just need to go through that little shock
yeah,
where you just realize the game is tough or more physical, all that. And Europe is like you can get fired for no reason. Like, like it's not like all these
right,
contracts may look great, but if they just decide like you just all of a sudden have a 12-point game, they can be like, okay,
right.
you know what? We don't need you tomorrow. You don't need your service anymore. That's how quick it can go. That's why I really,
Yes, it's real cutthroat over there, man.
yeah. So you actually finished. Yeah. So how did you exactly your first year? Was it any time or a moment where you kind of like got felt that pressure when I don't know maybe a losing streak or something like all of a sudden like oh
Um,
okay or were you
I mean,
good?
the way our team was set up, we were combined with one of the top basketball academies in Italy,
Okay.
uh, Stella Azzurra. So they have a ton of young talent that's come through. So there were some guys on our team like around 12 years old, 13, 14. You know, they were all really talented and they could compete at that level. But those are the kind of guys we had on our team. And ultimately, a
Yeah.
bunch of those guys went on to play in the NBA. A bunch are in Euro League right now. And then we
Okay.
had two Americans and a couple of other veteran guys, just Italian guys that were on the team. So it wasn't always at first. It was a little rocky. Like we were kind of losing a bunch of games, and then finally, once everything started to click, we went on a little run and ended up
Yeah.
making the playoffs. But yeah, there was a little stretch where we weren't winning very many games, and maybe I didn't have a good performance, and I was a little down on myself just because I'm away from home in a foreign country. I can't figure things out.
Yeah.
But luckily, I had a good vet, Brandon Sherrod. He had played
Okay.
on the same team the year before, so he did a good job of keeping me locked in, keeping me engaged, making sure when I wasn't playing my best, I was still motivated and things like that. But yeah, like you said, I was able to finish the year, which I think that was really big because it wasn't always it wasn't always great. I wasn't always in the best
Yeah.
moods, just dealing with different culture, the coaches, team, things like that. But
Yeah, language
yeah, it
barrier.
was difficult, but I found a way to make it work. As a first year professional.
Yeah, so okay, but yeah, just get back to what you said earlier. So you actually felt like you're because I know NBA players can say Europe is more physical than the NBA game, and we all can see that. But college, I was
Yeah,
kind of surprised to be honest. I didn't know that it was more physical than the college game because the college game is yeah, it's tough too. So you actually felt that it was more physical right away.
yeah, it was. Yeah, it was definitely more physical. I feel like in the more so in American sports, like they really like the freedom of movement that
Yeah,
players get. So you can't really get hands on guys like the hand checking, the body bumps, all that stuff. You get called
yeah,
a foul in the American game. But over there, they love that stuff. Like any of the hand checking, the body checks. Like obviously they call the obvious fouls, but any other physicality, they really embrace it. So it makes it much more difficult to score. And there's also the 3-second rule, which is different in the NBA and in Europe. So
yeah,
guys can sit in the paint, so it's much
exactly.
harder to get to the rim and get those easy buckets. And then
Yeah,
guys are able to
yeah,
be
true.
physical. And it allows for those slower, stronger guards to really get hands on you and be physical. And it's really difficult to score over there. But like I said, I had to change my body
Yeah.
and find a way to embrace the physicality to order to compete at that level.
Because at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, you grew up in the States and having a pops that's played in the NBA. I
Hmm.
guess all you knew was NBA, and now when you basically change your path, or you
Yeah.
transition to okay, I'm gonna play in Europe. I don't know if he played overseas, but it's like, baby, he's not even familiar with it like that. So I guess it was a shock for the whole family that you can't really get the family advice probably that you was getting before going to Europe. So it just threw you out to the wolves, and you just have to figure out everything by yourself in a
Right.
different
Yeah. Yeah.
continent. So, and you did well, I guess. And how did that season go for the team? Did y'all made the playoffs? I saw that y'all made
Yeah.
playoffs, but how did it go?
We made the playoffs. I think we finished seventh or eighth, I think, in the league that
Yeah.
year.
Okay.
And in the first round, I think it was best of five. So we ended up losing in five.
Ooh,
And
tough.
in the fifth game, I actually injured myself, just like a
Oh,
freak accident. Maybe like 30 seconds of the game, my knee like kind of
oof.
buckled, went in and out, just like on a regular transition play, no contact or anything.
Oh,
Luckily, I wasn't seriously injured, but I wasn't able to finish the
finish
game,
the
and we
game.
ended up losing. Ended up losing that series in the fifth game. It was a really close game, even though I went out in like the first minute of the game. But yeah, unfortunately, we didn't make it out of the first round. But it was still, heck of a season for us. Just all that we battled, the youth that we had on our team, inexperienced, but we still
Yeah.
found a way to make it work.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. And you had a successful season too, which is, of course, really impressive for your first year going, straight from school, put it that way,
Yeah, right, right.
to yeah, playing against professional real men that actually are feeding their families and stuff. Like because I was talking to I spoke to another guy earlier, and he mentioned that like he was like he didn't know, had no clue too when he came to Europe, and he went to Turkey or something, and he found out real quick that it's different. But yeah,
It is, yeah,
yeah, he had a huge
100%.
comeback story, put it that way. But so then the next season you went to Hungary, which kind of, I mean, yeah, it feels like I thought, did COVID hit you or did you get injured? Because I saw
Yep,
that you only played 2 games.
yep. So that was my second year was actually a little rocky. You probably won't be able to find much of my background from the second year from
Yeah,
the internet.
but it's not that
Um,
easy sometimes.
so this was like kind of the first time I really hit some adversity, in my pro career. So after the summer of my first season, like in Italy, I had a really good year, right? So I
Yeah.
was, in line for a ton of big jobs, and actually a year ago yesterday. So in that season, after in the summer of that season after my first year, I was in a really bad car accident.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So 3 people actually died in that car accident. So it was a really, it was really horrific. thing
Hold
that
up.
happened.
Whoa. Was that in the States?
Yeah, it was in the States. It was in the summer. So this was July
Ooh.
28th of
Uh,
2019. And I was about a few days from signing. I was probably going to take a job in Germany.
hold on. Can you just give me 2 seconds? Something just
Yep,
happened.
yep.
Sorry. Okay, so yo, this is yeah, I don't know how to react, to be honest. Kind of speechless. Was anyone that passed away? One of your friends, or
No, they
the other
were.
the other
So
cousin?
it was a three vehicle accident. So the people that passed away were in the other two vehicles, and
Okay,
my cousin my cousin was traveling with me. He was in the passenger seat, and we were the only two that didn't suffer like any serious injuries during the whole accident.
eh. Yo, man, rest in peace to those that passed away. I know we're happy you're still here. So yeah, God is definitely walking with you.
Mm.
I've come from a family with, a Christian family, let's put it that way. So yeah, that's how I looked at it. So okay, so you got injured after that incident,
Well, I
or
was yeah,
kind of
I wasn't injured, but I mean
took game
just
time off the game, basically.
just how tragic it was. Like I was really
Yeah,
broken up for a while, over it,
yeah.
and
I'm surprised that it actually came back the same season, if you could put it that way.
yeah, so after the incident, like a lot of teams in Europe kind of backed off just because the
Yeah,
severity, of the accident. They didn't really know like if it was going to be like a criminal case or whatever the
yeah,
deal was. Like no one was really at fault for the accident.
yeah.
It
But
was just something
exactly.
that happened, and but teams were just kind of hesitant to sign me just because all that was going on. So at that point, kind of my only option was to stay, in the states. So
Yeah.
I did I did the G League showcase about a month, maybe a few weeks after the accident. And
Okay.
when the accident happened, like I was just in bed, not saying much, just laying around. Like I was just really, really beaten up over it. So
Yeah.
I didn't train or anything. I went and did the G League showcase a few weeks later. I actually played really well, and I put my name in the G League draft afterwards. So the G League draft was in October.
Okay.
So I went like August, September, October. I was just in bed, just like not doing anything. I was scared to get in a vehicle. Like I didn't want
Yeah.
to do anything.
Of course.
So
Of
I went and did
course.
the yeah. So I got drafted in the G League to the main Red Claws in Boston, and
Yeah, exactly. That's basically Boston's G
yeah,
League team, right?
Boston's
Yeah.
G League team. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I went there and did like the whatever the tryout. I was there for like a month or whatever.
Yeah.
So ended up getting cut. I was out of shape. I wasn't ready to play.
Yeah.
I just physically couldn't do it
Yeah. Sure.
at
Yeah.
that time, and
Absolutely.
mentally, I was out of it.
Yeah.
So didn't perform too well there, and then I ended up going to a couple months later. I got into a
Hungarian.
little bit of shape, and I went to Chile in South America.
Okay.
So I
Those
was
numbers
in
need to pop up. Exactly. I
yeah,
didn't find them.
those are really hard to find.
Yeah. Yeah. I know,
Maybe
Alex.
there's somewhere there,
You
but
gotta look.
actually,
Really look.
yeah, I actually killed it in Chile. Maybe like 20 a game, which I mean, not too difficult of a league, but it was just good to be back out there playing, just something to get my mind off, what I was dealing with. And so yeah, I was there for like a month, maybe played in like 5 or 6 games, and then that's when the team in Hungary called me. This was around maybe February or so. So they called me and they're like, "We want you to finish the season." I think they were in first place at the time.
Yeah.
They were playing FIBA Europe Cup, so they were having a really good year.
Okay.
And actually, one of my college teammates, Jordan Bernardo, was actually playing for that same team.
Okay.
So so yeah, I went there. I was there for about 2 weeks. Only played in a couple of games, and then that's when COVID hit, and they sent
Yeah.
everyone home.
Yeah, exactly. They messed it up for everybody. I mean, I mean, because I played in top league in Norway. I mean, it's not like
Okay.
it's not Italy. top league, but it's still top league over here. For me, I'm from Sweden normally, so I played in top league in
Okay,
Sweden
okay.
before, yeah, and then I moved to
Sweden's got good
Norway.
basketball.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. We got good basketball. Then I moved to Norway, got a wife, and now I can stuck. Put it that way. So I played in top league here, and we got hit with COVID too. Actually, right, we were actually driving to a playoff game, like 4 or 5,
Wow.
basically an hour away or something, and then they're like, that's when NBA shut down. The same day NBA shut down, they shut
Yeah.
everything down basically for us.
Such
So
a crazy time.
yeah, crazy. But then just real quick, man, you're talking a lot about Chile, like it's not different. I mean, that's a tough
Yeah.
people, if I put it that way. Different culture too. So you just went there and balled out basically, but it's still you made it sound easy. I know
Yeah. Well,
South
okay.
America, you know what I'm saying? You make
Yeah, yeah,
everything
yeah.
sound easy. Like I know South America can definitely, I heard some crazy stories over there. Let's put it that way from some players. And
Yeah, let,
did
let
you?
me let me rephrase that a little
How
better.
was
So
your
like
experience just getting there? Your first impressions of all that, like.
yeah, so I mean it was a crazy experience. Like I like again I didn't know what to expect. I don't think I've been to South America at that point. But so I get there, the owner of the team, so I fly into whatever city it was. I get on they put me on like a ferry because like the
Yeah.
city was on an island.
Okay.
So I take the ferry to one island, and then the owner comes and picks me up in a prop plane, like the little bumpy
Oh.
prop plane. Yeah, that was that was one of his hobbies. So that's what he came to pick me up in, a prop plane. So we flew to the city. It was a crazy experience. Um, but yeah, we get there. I mean, it was a pretty city. It was
Yeah,
it
you
was
want me
different.
like that? Yeah, that's new. I never heard that before.
Yeah, yeah. So that experience was different. I got there. The food was great. The people were really nice.
Yeah,
Everything was cool. It was just the basketball, everything. It was just different. I wouldn't say it was an easy league, but like the domestic players weren't as good as
yeah,
what you might see in like a top European league or even like a really good second league. But like
yeah,
there were the Americans, like as you know, in like most of these countries, like the Americans are always good and competitive.
yeah, sure,
So I,
exactly.
I ran into a lot of guys there. Again, they were like guys kind of at the end of their career, so they were probably
Yeah,
big names way back when, like really big high major colleges
yeah,
that they attended. So they could still play, but it was just what made it different was like the domestic players weren't as good as other
yeah,
places. So it wasn't like easy, but it was. I would say the athleticism kind of my
yeah,
athleticism was a lot much too much for them to handle or to be able
yeah,
to defend. So I was able to score a lot easier than I would have been able to in other leagues.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, of course. And but yeah, okay. So it be like that, but when I look at your career exactly, then you went to Hungary and 2 games, COVID hits, and you sent everybody home. Still, after your first season, it feels like you st you still at that point where I mean, you always gotta prove yourself no matter where you go, but
Yeah.
you haven't really established your career yet, if I can put it that way. You're still kind of
Yep.
trying to
Hmm.
find your way, because you went to Newcastle uh, after COVID, right? So, so basically, you sat out a year,
Yeah.
if
Okay.
I'm
So
right.
yeah. So yeah, after that season, like after the COVID year, like I
Yeah,
was just I still wasn't in a good place. So I was like, I don't
yeah.
know if I could do this, and I was like to the point where like I didn't think I could play again, like at that level, and just like mentally prepare
But
myself to go
for let
compete.
me just I mean just to give you some of your props, man, for not being in a great place,
Yeah.
you've made like 3 stops,
Right.
being in that mental space, which is kind of
All right.
tough. I mean,
It
sometimes
was
that's
it was
what you
definitely
need.
tough.
Yeah, but
Hmm.
that's my kudos to you because that's actually now when you just with everything you just mentioned to actually go to 3 different places after that, that's tough for anybody,
Yep.
no matter how good you are, right? So. Yeah, so exactly, and then you get, so I understand why you sat out basically a year, and then you, like we say, you're still your overseas career, or at least your overseas name is not really established like that because, and then you went to UK, and UK is, if I'm right, is that year you went there because it haven't always been the best league, but
Mhm.
I feel like they have some years where some teams have actually tried to raise the level a little bit, trying to play this, Europe Champions League or FIBA Europe, stuff like that. So how was the league when you got there? Because it still feels like you're still building yourself or your resume, if I could put it that way.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess coming off of that gap year, actually
Yeah.
during that year that I took off, I ended up having 4 different eye surgeries. So going to Newcastle, it
Hold
was
on, so hold on. What is it? Four different what?
eye surgeries. I had four
Oh,
different eye surgeries.
okay, okay,
Yep. So yeah, I was born with the eye disease keratoconus, and
okay,
they didn't catch it until that year that I sat out. So ended
okay.
up having the 4 eye surgeries like right before I went to Newcastle. So I kind of had to reinvent how I
Yeah,
played because I had always played with really poor vision, and now I have to wear glass contacts to play. So I like saw the floor differently. I saw the rim differently. It, like changed my shot and just ultimately how I played. So I had to adjust to that, and then also sitting out a year. So that's what I was dealing with going back into playing, professional basketball with Newcastle,
let
which
me
wasn't
just
just
support you with. I grew up
yeah.
playing with poor vision too,
Or okay,
so I'm a
so you
-4.
understand, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then
Okay,
when I started playing professional, they were like, you gotta wear contacts. I was like, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
so I wore contacts since I think when I turned 26, 7 or something. So
Okay, okay.
I got you on that part. It changed everything. So
It does, it does.
so yeah, okay. So you're really going through it, and then okay, UK. Yeah, so you went to UK right away after those surgeries, and yeah, and how was this season? Your season, and of course, how did the team do?
Yeah, so I mean, I guess at the first part of the season, I was still trying to like play my way into
Yeah,
shape. Like I was in good shape, but it's hard to simulate like game shape, especially when you haven't played in a year.
yeah,
So I had
of
to,
course,
so again, I had to, my body, all that stuff had to adjust to like the speed of the game.
yeah,
But I feel like once I adjusted, ended up having a really good year, especially towards the later half of the season. And like at the time, it was the BBL. So
yeah,
the
exactly,
BBL, it had some tough teams like the London Lion were really good. The
yeah,
Leicester Riders were really
yeah,
good
exactly.
teams. So it was really competitive league, and I was able to to show myself out in Europe again. And yeah, luckily after that season, I was able to find myself in some other places. But I'm really thankful that Coach Ian McLeod gave me another opportunity to get back into professional basketball and still show that I could compete at the highest level.
Yeah, shout out to that coach. So here is, I feel like where you start exactly. You just mentioned having a gap year, which
Yep.
can cost your body a lot, no matter who you are exactly, you gotta give, no matter how hard you work out before that season, all that, getting into game shape, timing,
Yep.
rhythm, probably took you like a 2, 3 months just to, mentally to feel like, okay, I'm where I'm supposed to be, even though maybe look to your teammates, you probably look like, yeah, he's doing his thing. But
Right. Right. Right.
I can relate to that part if that happened to you. At least I've been in that position where I retired and came back, and yeah, guys probably expecting a lot from you, and
Of
but
course.
you're like, yo, I'm not there yet. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
mentally,
Especially as an import two guard. Yeah, they
yeah,
expect you to
exactly,
score a lot
and
of points. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So here's the thing. When I thought when on Simple B, one thing I always mention, which I told you before we started, Americans are always unappreciated for me. I feel like no matter how great they play. I mean, if y'all win championship, then you're good. Everybody love you. But if you don't really
Right,
win
right.
championship, you may just be one of the guys that just came here, did his thing, blah blah blah. What I'm saying is, why I'm saying it is, basketball is different from. I mean, every team plays different philosophy. You know, the pace, whatever the coach, no matter how, want to play, and. I can see that you are kind of like a guy that have average around 17 points, stuff
Yeah,
like that, which is really good. But some teams overseas can be like, we don't care what's going on. We need you to get this 25, 30 for
hmm
us to actually respect you. I don't know if you've been or
right.
felt that energy before, but I know a lot of players that have felt that really like it doesn't matter, even if they're playing great with this. I mean, no matter what the average is like now, we just need you. We need you to have great numbers for us to actually respect what you're doing. Have you felt the energy
Yeah,
yet?
I mean,
I mean, what we talking
yeah,
about?
in certain situations, yeah, you definitely feel the pressure to do more. But
Yeah,
I've always been, even though I'm a scorer, like I'm a scorer first. I love to score the
yeah,
basketball. I've always been like a team guy, so I won't sacrifice like scoring lots of points and then that causes our team to lose or us not to perform at our best. So I try to do as much as I can and also do enough to help the team win. So I'm not going to just go out here and just chuck shots just to get stats. That's not who I am as a player.
yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, even if you are feeling the pressure, like I'm still going to play my game. I'm still going to be myself. And if
Of course.
that's not enough for the team, then I'm okay with them,
Yeah.
finding someone else that can do that. But I won't sacrifice the integrity of the game just for stats. I want to win first, and then let's see what else
Yeah.
happens after that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean that's a great mentality to have because it is so easy to get out of character as a basketball
Yeah,
player,
right.
man. I mean,
Of course.
so easy to be honest. So especially when you're actually a scorer. I mean, you see two, three go in a row. If you have a big ego, bro, I mean, your teammates
Right.
may not see the ball the rest of the quarter,
Yeah.
So I really respect that approach. So before we jump to yeah, so that I mean to Hungarian because I feel like after that Newcastle season, that's when you basically, I mean, when it sounds like you finish off that season really strong, and then
Yep, I did.
yeah, exactly. That's when you kind of like probably got your swagger back, your little I mean the reputation back. I mean around Europe because you went back to Hungary again to a
Yep.
different team. So before we talk about that season, can I just ask how much, I mean, your father, how much have he affected your basketball career from, yeah, basically, because
Yeah, I mean,
it was
a ton. I mean, yeah,
he was the
I, I,
one of the
I still
ones.
train with, yeah, I still train with him every summer. We still
Okay,
put the
dope.
work in, get in the gym. He's all about mental toughness and getting in shape. So I mean, we really get after it. Actually, earlier this summer, we did about 20 hours in 2 days on the court, and after that, after that
That's
second
crazy.
day, I know after that second day, I got home and I'm trying to walk up the stairs, and I'm like, man, my foot is hurting so bad. Like I don't know what's going on. So I get upstairs, I take my shoe off, and my foot's just like swollen. Like can't even see the veins in my foot just from all the training we did. So ended up having to sit out for about a week. This was like a few weeks ago that this happened. So yeah, we
So,
worked out so much that my foot swelled up like that.
yeah, that. I mean, I mean, you can't even. I mean, you can't really talk back to him when it comes to basketball. I guess so. You can't even say
No,
anything
yeah,
because he done it at the highest level. So,
right. He's crazy, man. He's told me some crazy stories about himself. Playing in the NBA. Like he did a practice where he actually almost died. He ended up having 4 IVs after like a morning practice. Went to the
okay,
hospital. Got the IVs, and then came back and was on the court for the night session in the NBA. So he's crazy. He's all about mental toughness. Like he won't give
Yeah,
up. Like that's just who he is. So that's what he tried to instill in me. So anytime I'm with him and we're training, like we go hard, like till
I mean,
failure.
yeah, that's a blessing, man. Having
Yeah.
yeah, having him around and working out with
Hmm.
him. I mean, exactly him breaking down your games. I mean, oh my God, I can't even. I mean, it must be fantastic. And yeah, I mean, real quick, man, just to let my fans or my subscribers know, listen, I mean, his dad was a bad, bad man. Let's
Hmm.
get that straight. I just saw what he did to Seattle in the playoffs, and so I was like, oh my God, like he really was up. I don't understand why his name is not even bigger because I just watched the way he played. I think maybe I guess he should maybe just keeping a low profile as a dad
Yeah.
or person, probably that, and not putting his name out there because his name should be out there today,
Yeah.
especially
He.
now when
Yeah.
legends are getting more love. God damn, yeah, I saw it. I
Yeah.
saw
He's not.
it.
Yeah. He's not real big on social media or anything. So he's
Yeah,
kind of
old school. I
he
get
still coaches and he's kind of to himself. But yeah, man, he had a hell of a career. I think he over 40% 3-point shooter for his career in the NBA for 12 seasons. So
yeah. I mean,
yeah, man, he can really put it
yeah,
in the hole, man.
yeah. Shout out to senior, right? Shout out to senior. So exactly. So let's get to your next season. What's the name? This Sedak something.
Sediak.
Sediak. Yeah,
I think that's
exactly.
how you say. I can't pronounce it too well either.
Yeah, exactly. So it's yeah, it's not the same team that you played with the first year,
No,
that COVID year. Yeah. So how was that? Because Hungarian league is tough.
The Hungarian league is tough. There's a
Yeah,
ton of really good Americans. They go there to try to make that next step into like the top leagues in Europe. So
exactly. That's a stepping
you run
stone.
across you run across some guys that can really play. A lot of those teams in that league are playing like Champions League and FIBA Europe Cup. So that just tells you the kind of competition you see night to night in that league. But yeah, that was a different experience for me. Like that was like the first time, like I guess in my pro career, like I played with someone who was just like so much better than I was. Like a guy named Desi Washington. He was the point guard. Man,
Okay.
he was
Shout
incredible.
out,
Like he had,
shout out to Denzel
yeah. Shout out
Washington.
Desi Washington, man.
Yeah.
He had Slim Nicholson. Slim could really go too. So yeah,
Okay.
we had some really good players on that team. Unfortunately, we didn't figure it out until late. Like
Yeah.
we started off really bad that year. Like we weren't winning very many games. At the halfway point, our coach actually ended up getting fired, and they ended up bringing a new guy in. After they brought the new guy in, I think we just kind of needed like a change in voice, change of scenery, just
Yeah. Yeah,
something
that's
new,
what it is
just
sometimes.
just to spark us. Yeah. But after that change, like we really started picking up. Although it was too late to like make the playoffs, we did kind of start making strides late and started playing better together, and ended up, I mean, not saving the year, but we ended up having a respectable season. I would say. And then, for me personally,
Yeah.
like I had a much more of a different role. Like instead of being like one of the main scorers, I was kind of
Yeah.
just like a 3-and-D guy, and I kind of,
Yeah.
and I embraced that role. I really took a step, in my game defensively, which has helped me, the next few years moving on. And then it was difficult to adjust because a guy like me who's been like a volume scorer,
Yeah.
throughout my career, I'm used to having the ball in my hands. So
Exactly.
there were a lot of trips down the court where I wouldn't even touch the basketball. So it's much different to score whenever you don't have a feel for the ball or anything or things like that. Just
Yeah,
go
of
to the
course,
corner
of
and be ready
course.
to shoot. So yeah, those are the kind of things I was dealing with, that season in Hungary. But as the
Adjusting
year
your
went on,
role.
I got more comfortable in that role, and I feel like I was, really important to helping the team turn things around. Just because when my performance picked up, and also the other guys as well, I think we really started to gel and play good basketball.
Oh, exactly. And like you just like you mentioned there, you had to kind of play a different role since you're used to having the ball. I mean, having the ball, I mean, that's an art itself, being used to having the ball a full game and, being an efficient scorer. And now you have to basically change and not have the ball at all, basically, since you mentioned
Right.
Desi Washington. So I guess, I mean, he should have the ball.
Yeah, he definitely need to have the balls, and he was a
Yeah.
bucket, and he was an incredible
So,
passer as well. So man, yeah, he really taught me a
okay.
lot in that year just playing with him.
And so, and it's the thing where kind of, I mean, still because you're a shooter, I mean, you can shoot at the end of the day. So, but you're not touching the ball for like 6, 7 possessions, and then all of a sudden, but still, when you get an open shot, you expect they
Yeah,
expect you to hit everything.
going right.
So, yeah, so it is tough to fall back to that role. I mean, I'm not a shooter. I'm really streaky. Let's put it that way. But when I play, but still, I kind of understand that part of when they take you off the ball and you just
Right.
gotta figure out, and the plays probably not really ran for you, you gotta
Yeah.
find
Yeah.
find a
Exactly.
way to break the play,
Exactly.
where it's it feels like it's natural when you're breaking the plays, stuff like that.
Yeah. I turned
So
into a good cutter that year. I was
exactly.
finding any kind of way to score the ball, playing in
Oh my,
transition, hitting
exactly.
steals, anything. Yeah. So I
Backdoor.
was trying to affect the game any way I could. Yep.
But that's the thing, exactly. With you sometimes with overseas basketball because it's so tactical, right? And
Yeah. 100%.
which we haven't really mentioned, but it's really tactical over here
It
when you're
is.
playing this in the better leagues, more tactical than the
Mm-hmm.
NBA for sure. So all of a sudden, the scouting report is different, and now you gotta play a whole different role that you haven't really played in your life. And just
Exactly.
when we just talked about your life story right now, and then in that stop, you actually have to adjust. It's kind of like,
Yep.
yo, some
Yep.
they keep hitting you with something all the time, but man, you
Yep.
still beating the odds, which is really dope. So I haven't never asked this question. I just thought about it since you mentioned a player like Desi Washington. Uh, so as American, okay, you're not in the NBA for this and whatever reason, but you playing. One thing is for sure is, let's say if you're not even playing, uh, let's say if you're not one of the top 16 teams in the league,
Yep.
you're still playing better and higher level basketball in Europe. For me, at least.
Okay.
It's more difficult. I mean, of course, individual talent is not the same, but I'm just talking about
Right.
basketball itself. It's kind of tougher because you don't have that defensive 3 second, stuff
Hmm.
like that. So do you, some Americans, you or have you kind of your teammates, like you just mentioned, a player like Denzel Washington? I don't know if you were younger or older, but do y'all look at the league sometimes like, I mean, because y'all Americans at the end of the day, that's your home. It's in your
Right.
home,
Right.
it's in your backyard. Like, yo, I'm so much better than these dudes at basketball right now, but you can't find your way back to the league for whatever reason.
Right.
Do you get that feeling?
Yeah. I mean, like the NBA, it's a much different game. I think
Today,
in the NBA, there's only two or three guys on the team that are able to play their actual game,
yeah,
and the
exactly.
rest are there to just the big set screen, defend, rebound, and there's other guards that are just there to defend, sit in the corner and shoot threes. So I would say, I run across a bunch of guys in Europe that are talented enough to play in the NBA, but like it's just they're not as good as those two or three guys
Yeah,
to be able to play that type of style in the NBA. So if they wanted to go and play NBA, they would need to adjust their role, kind of like what I was doing in
yeah,
Hungary. They need to be a three
exactly.
and D guy or a screener, roller, and rebounder. So yeah, that part that's what I would say would separate most of the top guys from the top European guys. But I think some guys in Europe can go and fill some of those roster spots,
Yeah,
at the end of the bench or something like that. But it's just all about right fit. I think the NBA kind of lean towards guys who are, taller, lankier, able to defend more positions, or maybe young guys who they could try to develop into maybe one of those 2 or 3 guys that they want to
Exactly.
score the ball on a nightly basis. So I think for guys who go over to Europe, they are comfortable in their role. They're making some
Yeah.
pretty good money for themselves, and it doesn't make sense for them to go to the
Back.
NBA, and because they'll have to probably go the G League route. So now, if you're playing G League, if you're
Exactly.
not under 2-way contract,
Mm,
you're losing for some of them hundreds of thousands of dollars just to do
exactly.
that, and then there's a chance that you may not even play in the NBA. So for a lot of guys, it doesn't make sense. But I would say for some of the younger guys who come in 22, 23, who aren't making as much money yet, but are also as talented, maybe it would make sense for them to go and try to fill some of those roster spots. But yeah, I would say, I mean, the drop off isn't that big from top European guys and top and kind of end of the bench NBA guys. It's not that big of a difference, but it's just, I think at the end of the day, it's all about the right fit.
No, that's a great way to put it. And I can imagine. I mean, listen, I didn't make it to the league or not that I like, but okay, I was okay when I was
Right.
younger. Uh, but I remember like at the time, I mean, I have a you have a I can imagine like you have probably have a different respect for the league no matter what because you
Yeah.
grew up around it, right? And you've
Yep.
really seen what's going on behind the scenes or heard, you probably heard your dad calling back home, frustrated about whatever going on right now with the team, or you probably, you know, you're probably your NBA whatever goes on behind the scenes is probably different than the average basketball player, if I could put it that way. But I remember at a time, I mean, I'm born 91, so I'm right now 34. When I was
Yep.
younger, what it took for me to even to get an opportunity to go to, I don't know if you heard of Reebok Eurocamp. Now it's probably
Yeah.
Adidas or something, but back then it was Reebok, right? So I was actually around those people that was running that camp, but still, it was like because that was around '07, '08, '09. That's when I was 17, 18. And I'm a wing player. It was kind of still the wing era in NBA too, right? Like
Yeah.
when you have
Right.
those. So it was like, yo, you have to be great at everything. You know, at that time for me to even to get a look, right? And now NBA basically shit now is more point guards that are actually. I mean, it's this kind of
Right.
it's getting a little mixed now, but it's been the point guard era now for. I mean,
It is. Yeah.
yeah,
Point guards are dominating right now.
for a minute, and your dad's era was bigs too, and now is more media around the world itself. I mean,
Yep.
now NBA knows more on what's going on in Europe. So I hope I mean, it would be nice to see, let's say, a little all-star game between top Europe Europe player
Yeah.
and not maybe the all-stars in the NBA, but at least just if you take the role players, I mean that would be an interesting game to see
Yeah.
the
I think so too.
difference in the level. But that gets back to why I'm doing this exactly because some top European players. I mean, for me, honestly, most Americans that are playing in top leagues are phenomenal players. They just didn't get that opportunity.
Yep.
But yes, I mean now we got a little deeper. But exactly, but you put it. Your answer was fantastic. So yeah, and after that, it feels like when you got to Finland, man, you be killing out there. At least that.
All right.
So, uh, how did it end up in Finland? Because Finland is like I just been there once on a tournament, but it's like I mean it's a Scandinavian country, so it's like a neighbor, like one of our neighbors, right? But it's a
Yeah.
really good league, the top league over
Yeah. It
there.
is. Yeah. It is. Finland league is really good, really organized. Some really good competition. It's probably a little bit of a step down from the Hungary league, and I think after the year I had in Hungary, like I played well, but I didn't necessarily have like the numbers that a scorer should have.
Yeah,
So I didn't get a ton of interest in that summer after my Hungary season. So my thought process was maybe I go down a little bit in level, get my numbers back up, and
yeah,
then go put myself out there, on the market again. And actually, I went to Finland and we actually stumbled across a really good team. Like the team I was playing for, Corey Height, is they've been really good in past years, but recently
Yeah.
they have kind of struggled. Kind of bouncing from second league to first league, like not
Okay.
really having a ton of success. But I saw the guys that they signed. A guy named Jalen Jackson. He was a guy I played in college. He was playing at Arkansas Little Rock, so I knew him. And then I saw that like they had some other veteran Finnish guys like Mikhail Otto and Bojan Sarcevic. So I knew the team would be really good, and then I put myself in there, and then we ended up signing another really talented player, Javion Ogunyemi. So the pieces started falling together. So we really had a good team. We really meshed together. Like we ended up taking that team to top six, and this is kind of a big deal in the Finnish league to make top six, especially when
Yeah,
we
yeah.
were a team who we were predicted to finish last. We were 14th. We were predicted to finish 14th. So made it in the top six. So that secured our spot in the playoffs. So that just tells you the level that we were
Yeah.
playing at that season. And also, I was playing well. I had really good numbers. I was scoring the ball better again. Not crazy numbers. I think I was around like 15 a game, but my percentages were up. We played really well together. I think we actually had like 6 guys who were scoring in double figures, which is kind of unheard of, in European basketball.
6.
6 guys scoring in double figures.
Then
So
14 is
that just,
really good.
so that just tells you, the level we were playing at and the
Yeah.
camaraderie we had as a team. So it just made a lot of sense that we had the success that we had. And but we ended up finishing, I think, third. I think we were third, but we lost in 5 games to the 6th seed, which was crazy because it was a team we had
Opposite.
beat. We had beat 3 times that season, but there was a guy, Rashad Pack. He
Okay.
just kind of lit us up. Like he had and had an incredible series. Like they had a couple of games where they came back from down 20 points and won. So we just kind of, we kind of folded, under the pressure there. But all in all, it was a good season, and it was a good opportunity for me to,
That's
put myself back out there on the market again for the next summer.
yeah, but that's a little curse sometimes. When you beat a team like that, most times in the regular season, they start to figure it out, low key. Then exactly when they get you in the playoffs, they
Yeah.
probably were ready. I mean, but I mean, you mentioned 6 guys in double figures, and you were averaging
Yep.
14 points, bro. That means that those 14 is like a 22 something, like in a different
Yeah, you
scenario.
had to be real
So.
efficient, man, on that team.
Yeah, I can imagine. And probably, yeah, it was probably a little, hierarchy situation where you kind of, did you all have like, who was the guy in that team? Because 6 guys over double
Yeah, I
figures. I
mean,
never heard that before, to be honest. Probably NBA,
I,
but
I
not
feel
in
like I feel like it changed from night to night. Like
Okay.
who was the guy? Like we had a couple of ball handlers. Like we had a veteran Finnish point guard, and then
Yeah.
one of our other Americans, Jalen Jackson. He was kind of like the point forward. So those were our two like main ball handlers, and then obviously I was on the ball some, as a scorer. I think our leading scorer was Javion. He averaged like 16 a game and maybe 10 rebounds. So he
Okay.
was he was our leading scorer night to night, but he wasn't. We weren't necessarily running the offense through him, but he was
Okay.
involved in a lot of the pick and roll actions,
Okay.
and then he would post up some, but he was a beast on the offensive glass, and then in the pick and roll they were just really tough to defend because those other guards could score really well. So you just kind of had to pick your poison. And then our other American, Travis Jocelyn, he was like
Yeah.
a 3-4, but he could also shoot the ball. He was another guy that averaged over 10 points and shooting at a 40% 3-point clip. So I mean, we were pretty stacked. Our other center, Mikhail Alto, he plays on the Finnish national team.
Okay.
So yeah, we were really talented that year. But I mean, any of us could go for 20 at any given point. So I mean, it was hard to really say like who the guy was,
Yeah.
night to night.
No, of course. I mean, 6 guys with double figures. I mean, yeah, exactly. I kind of get it. And Now, by you say, by exactly, I can see. I mean, your numbers look really, really. I mean, really fishing,
Mm,
man. 48%, 37 from three. Like, yeah. So, no, that was a great season, man. So,
yep,
and then you went to, yeah, exactly. So, last season, you didn't
yep.
start off in Korea,
Nope.
Korea,
Corey
how
Height.
we, yeah, Korea.
Corey Height.
So you went to Adretia, or what's the name of the league again? Adriatic, my bad. And
Yeah, Abba 2. Mhm.
exactly. Uh, how was that experience? Because I see we didn't stay there for long, but of course I want to hear
Yep.
about the experience,
See, that
especially.
was that was a that was another like growing experience for me.
Yeah,
So after that year, I got they offered me to come play in Abba 2 for a
yeah,
team called Rabotnički.
exactly.
So it felt like a good opportunity. There was a step up from where I was, another chance to show myself in Europe, and then possibly play well there and go on to the next
Yes.
up to the next level. But I get there and like the preseason is going pretty well. Like I'm having some pretty good performances, and then close to like the in the preseason, the coach just like stops playing me. Like I'm playing like 5 to 10 minutes in
Mm.
like the last 2 or 3 preseason games, and he's like the coach is telling me like, don't worry about it. I'm just trying to get some other guys, some minutes. You're gonna play 30 minutes a game when the season comes. Like,
It's
just
not
don't
playing
worry
it.
about it. I'm just saving. Basically, I'm just like saving you for the season.
Yeah, you probably. And
So
at the point, I can imagine at that point. I mean, it makes sense when you put
yeah,
it that way, but yeah.
it does. And like he was doing the same to like a couple of the other imports as well. These weren't American guys, but they were pretty big name imports who he was like pretty much benching for whatever reason.
Sorry,
So
what
we
country is
get
this again for the audience?
this is North Macedonia.
Exactly. So
Okay, so
it's different culture. It's a different culture, different
well,
vibe out there.
much different
So
culture. Yeah, it's a lot different. And
exactly.
so yeah, we get to the first game. Our first game was Abba 2 game, and I don't start. I play about I play about 10 minutes, if that, and score about 5 points, whatever it
10
was, and
minutes.
10
So,
minutes. So the next day, my agent calls me. He was like, the coach wants to make a change. Like they want to cut you, and
so
like
yeah.
at that at that point, I'm confused because like I played 10 minutes in the very first game. You didn't give me an opportunity to show myself. Like I had some really good preseason games against some tough teams, and so yeah, I only played 10 minutes, and then they make the decision to cut me. And it wasn't just me; it was another guy on the team as well. And this other guy was a guy who's played in the Spanish ACB. So the Spanish ACB, that's like the top domestic league in Europe,
Come on, man.
and he plays that guy the same about 10 minutes, and then he wants to cut both of us after the very first
Yeah.
game.
So you see, that's. I was waiting for one of those stories because I know everybody
Yeah,
run into those weird ass situations
yeah,
where you have a coach that I'm not gonna say the R word if we put it that way, but it's like, but it's like exactly for some reason. I mean, those countries sometimes. Okay, let's be frank. I mean, listen, some of those countries they don't really mess with black people. Let's put it that way. So, and if they, you have to be LeBron James for them to be like to accept you as a black man. That's the truth, man. So it's nothing against you. That's just sometimes how the culture can be in some countries, to be honest.
mm,
Which is one of the reasons I'm doing this too, because that's what guys like you have to go through all of a sudden, man. From now we just talked about your life story and getting to that point, going through what you've gone through, been through, act and bounce back, build yourself back, your
right.
career back to a really respectable professional player. Like you at that point, you are one of those imports because as a local guy, if I can put it that way, there is those imports that you kind of get used to that probably gonna be in the same league you're in for like I
Right.
don't know 5 6
Yeah.
seasons straight. Just maybe bouncing around or staying with the same team, and it feels like you kind of got to that point where you actually established yourself to that level at least,
Right. Hmm.
and then you meet that guy. Mr. I don't
Right.
know, but exactly, and he probably wasted your preseason for because
Yeah.
the way you put it, you just broke it down. When he stopped playing you, basically, but bro, he made his decision probably a
Yeah.
month before he announced it to you.
Right.
Playing with your life
Yeah.
at the
So
point. So
yeah. So that was a pretty bizarre situation. Like something I really haven't dealt with, in my career. So
exactly,
yeah, that happened. Like I mean, I get it. Like I mean, it's
I
business.
mean,
Like okay, you want to make a change, fine. I mean, you wasted my time, but it is
yeah,
what it is. At the end of the day, like I'm a professional. Like this is the kind of things you have to
probably have
expect
some
and
local guy
pressure.
coming in or whatever it is, but I mean
Yeah,
it
not
would be fishy because as a local, I'm saying this because I've been in a situation how I can, probably knew somebody in the organization and actually
yeah,
hear how they speak about some players, how they just put all the blames on them when
right,
that's not the reality. You didn't even pick that guy up from the airport. Like, so
right,
you put this guy in a bad situation when from the beginning when he got here. And then, y'all still gonna use him as the black sheep, you know what I mean? Or just basically look down on the play. I mean, it's sad, right? That's the reason I mentioned these things. But yeah, I mean, listen, you find your way back to Corey Hyde at least, which is
right. Yeah, so I mean,
says a lot
it
too.
happened.
That just
Right.
says
So
exactly who you actually are.
yeah, but actually there was another stop in between Corey Height.
Okay.
So another team in the same city, BC Phoenix. The coach
Uh,
called me out. Like yeah, I had been
sorry, in
sitting around
Macedonia or in Finland?
in, in North Macedonia.
Okay.
Yeah, so I had been sitting around for a couple weeks just waiting for another team, an opportunity. And then that coach called me, which is actually in the same city, just on like the other side. And
Okay.
he called me. He was just like, um, "We need a guard, like an import. Like you can come here and play until you find a team,
Yeah.
basically." So yeah, I really appreciate him doing
Hey,
that for me.
that's dope.
It
That's
gave me
dope,
the
man.
opportunity to practice, stay in shape. I ended up playing a couple games. I was just basically the main thing was just staying healthy, trying not to be injured, but just trying to stay sharp. Looking for the next opportunity. And then
Of
Corey Height
course.
called me like 2 weeks into that situation, and they were like they're looking to make a change at the guard position. Like, would you be open to coming back? And I'm just like, yes, please
Yes,
get
please.
me out of here. Like right now,
Exactly.
I'm like, please, I'm ready. Like,
Yeah.
call me back. Let me know like ASAP. Like, I'm ready. And so yeah, they called me on Friday, and I think I was on a plane on Sunday out of there. So
You probably already start packing when the call was coming in.
yeah, like
Like,
I never unpacked my suitcase when I went to the other team. Like I was just
yeah,
like living out the
stay ready.
suitcase. I was just like I was ready to go, man. So yeah, they got me there. I was so excited to be back. There was a lot of guys from the year before, still on the team. So yeah, I mean, Corey Height was like home. So I mean, it
Yeah.
was really good to be back in the atmosphere again with some people. Some good genuine people. It was good to feel loved again. So yeah, and then ended up having a good year. Like I had a
Yeah.
much bigger role this time around. Like this time, I was probably the second ball handler this time. So
You murdered that
I
year,
was
bro.
really able to, yeah,
I'm trying to be humble here,
I,
but I see, bro, you murdered that season. I saw that season
yeah, man.
up
So
close, man.
so yeah, man, I was really able to be like I was able to be a scorer again. Like I was able to get a lot of shots up. I was super efficient. Like 43% from the three, almost 50 from the field. So yeah, man, I really had a good year, and it's just I think a lot of credit goes to my teammates, like just being comfortable with me, allowing me to be myself. Like it's not always easy to play with like a score, because
Yeah,
Sometimes they don't always take the best shots, but I try to be as efficient as possible and try to make sure all my shots are good looks. But sometimes you get in the rhythm and
yeah.
everything that you just feel like everything can go in. So
I mean, that's
but
the way that's the way the tape looked.
yeah, but a lot of times I was making a lot of those shots. So I mean, it just felt good. I was comfortable, in my role and with the team again. So yeah,
Probably your
it
best
was a
season.
really good year for me. Yeah, it was
The-
my best year scoring the ball, but I mean, maybe you could say the Italy A2 was probably my best year just because of the level of competition. Then
yeah,
I was
yeah,
also
yeah. Of course, of course,
able to
of
put
course.
out kind of similar output. But yeah, as
No,
far as
no,
just
no.
putting the ball in the hole and efficiency, yeah, last year was probably my best year, I would say.
We're not just gonna gloss over this 43% from three, like, it's
Yeah,
a regular thing over here, bro. That. I mean, that's crazy to be honest, man. That's really because I saw exactly your second ball handler, like you were actually shooting some contested shots, if you can put it that way. So 43%, nah, that's really, really that's a great
yeah, and
percentage, man.
yeah, and to add, like the crazy thing about
Yeah,
me shooting 43%, like I've always been a good shooter, throughout my
yeah,
life. But after my eye surgery, like, well, actually, when around like 18, 19 years old, like kind of when I
yeah.
first um, got to college, like I started noticing my vision declining. So
Okay,
I used to be more square to the basket, but as my vision started declining, my left eye, like without my contact, it basically doesn't work anymore.
okay.
So my right eye was like my only somewhat strong eye. So it was the only way I could see. So I started to turn more with my right shoulder facing the basket just so I could be able to see the basket more clearly. So I wasn't
With
square
the
to the
left
basket.
hand.
So I'm right handed.
Yeah, no,
So
no, but I'm thinking about probably shooting off your left dribble
yeah, yeah.
more or
Off the left
something.
dribble a lot, yeah.
I
So
was
that
thinking
was
about a move I remember one of the moves you did. It was something. I mean, you were, I don't know, going a little back and forth in the free throw line, and then you spun.
yeah.
When you just mentioned you kind of go, more to your right. You spun to your from your right to your left. Do a little pull up. So
Yeah. So
that's
so
what exactly. Okay, I
yeah,
see what
so
you did.
I'm able to shoot. Yeah, I'm able to shoot those off balance shots because that's
Yeah.
how I had been shooting for like the last few years. But in the summer, my uncle, I haven't mentioned that yet. My uncle Chuck Person, he also played in the NBA as well. The older brother of my dad. Yeah, so
It's a
we worked,
NBA
we
family.
worked, yeah, we worked all that summer, and he was adjusting my shot. So I basically changed like not 100%, but like 75% of my shot I changed. So now I'm more square to the basket. My chest is more up, and my release is much different than what it was in the years past. So I started out the year like when I got the Corey hat, I think I
Yeah.
started the year I was 1 of 13 to start the season from three, and then for like
And
the next 10 games, I think I shot like close to 70% from the three over a stretch, and I averaged like 25 points for a month or something crazy like that. So like it finally clicked, like. But at first, I was like, "Man, this isn't working. I need to go back to my normal jump shot." But then I just trusted the process, kept working, and then finally it clicked. And I'm really glad I made the change, and it's made a huge difference in my game.
okay, that's dope. I mean, sounds like bro, you've been adjusting a lot through your career. And
Yeah,
I thought about exactly you went. That's a funny thing too. You just went. What you just said, 1 for 13 when you just got to Finland. But of course, you just went through what you just went through in North Macedonia. And then you get to, I mean, that's the thing where sometimes you just have to get that rhythm back, right? Playing
right,
a lot of
exactly.
minutes, ball handler. It takes you a couple games to just to get the feeling back, no matter how hard you work, which I want our young listeners to know at least sometimes, because I mean, this new generation they can be a little impatient. You can put it that way. So so
Right.
want everything right away. I mean, I'm a victim of that too. I mean, or I've been. So exactly, and that just comes down to the mental strength and just staying locked in. I mean, working on your game. I mean, let me have. Do you have like when you let's say game week, or how
Yep.
do you how's your preparation for the because moving from country to country, all that. I mean, you kind of have to change your game routine, pre-game routine and stuff like,
Yeah.
especially for shooters, because shooters always have, their own thing. Do you have a special pre-game, let's say 2 days before the game, or the day before the game, the night before the game? Do you have something special, the routine that you stick to, or
Um,
are you just one of those guys that just have that feeling for the game and always go out there,
yeah.
throw it out?
Yeah. So I mean, I guess after my car accident, like I've
Yeah,
never been one to like struggle with anxiety, but I feel like after the car accident, like
yeah.
I've become like a really, really anxious person just because,
I mean, it makes a
the
lot
things that I've dealt with.
of sense.
So yeah, I think a routine has really helped me um, be more, be more prepared, for the
Yeah,
game and
exactly.
kind of know what to expect, going into things. Because I feel like when I put myself in situations where I'm uncomfortable or I'm not really sure
Yeah,
what may happen, then I tend to be more anxious. So having a routine, like something set, like every hour of the day going
yeah.
into the game, it helps me mentally be prepared, for the game. So I would say like the day before the game, I always like to take an ice bath, um, and then also the night before bed, I'll read and meditate like before bed to make sure
Okay.
my mental is ready.
Yeah,
Then try to get a good amount of sleep, somewhere around 8 to 10 hours of sleep. I think has worked wonders for me. And then
okay.
game day, always try to have the same breakfast, whether it's
Yeah.
fruit, breads, or something like that. So I try to keep everything routine, everything the same. So
Yeah, I mean
so
that's one of those
no changes.
cycle things that we hoopers, yeah, have,
Yeah.
bro. Like people
So
probably
yeah.
that we don't mention. I mean, doesn't get mentioned out there, but it is a thing,
So
bro.
yeah.
Like at least for me, I know. I mean, I kind of realized it, later in my career that yeah, I have to get in the gym the night before, for example,
Yep.
right? And
Uh-huh.
then the morning, probably in the morning, I'll probably do some yoga, do light. I'm not a yoga expert, don't get
Yep.
that twisted.
Right.
Just do a
Right.
little something to get the body going. And then okay, this is gonna be a good game. But if something gets in the way in between that, I
Yep.
kind of get a little nervous. I'm like, damn, I didn't do exactly what I'm supposed to do. So it's a thing. It's a thing. So
Yeah. It definitely is.
I wish I
Yeah.
had
So
that when I was 16, 17. Let's put it that way
yeah. 100%.
already. So yeah, that Hooper probably wish that they did have that. But listen, I mean, before I let you go, man, listen, you're you're sorry. First, do you have a new team now, or what's the situation? What's
Yeah.
your status now? What's
Yep. I signed a few weeks ago to play in Czech Republic. So I'll be playing with BK Opava this season.
okay? Congratulations, man. That's
I
a good league
appreciate it,
too.
man.
That's a really good league, and yeah, it's actually a nice country. So I think you're going to join, and what's actually kind of interesting with your story is, of course, as a professional player, you can move from country to country, but some countries, those countries you've been in are really different from the others. Like
You're
Italy,
right.
Hungary, like it's so like the
Yeah.
cultures is so different. So I
Uh-huh.
really, man, big up to you, respect that you actually have been able to adjust the way you've been adjusting. So, sorry, real quick, North Macedonia, they have an
Yep.
American on their national team, right? If you know,
Yeah. I think
the point
TJ
guard.
Shorts.
Yeah, he still
Yeah.
plays for their national team, right?
I'm pretty sure he still plays. Yeah. I
Yeah,
know. I know he played last season for
yeah, they
the
accepted
Euro
him.
basket.
Yeah, he's he's yeah, he can hoop. Let's put it
Oh yeah.
that way.
Wasn't he the MVP of EuroLeague this year?
Bro, he looked like MVP, man. He looked like the MVP, but I think Nigel Hayes Davis got it. But he was
Okay. Yeah.
he wasn't all
He
star.
was first team for sure.
Yeah, he was
Right.
first team, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was the MVP. I mean, the eye test. If you look at who actually did more for the
Yeah.
teams, I mean, bro.
I think if they finished a little higher, like they started the year, they were like top two for most of the year, and they kind of fell off towards the end. I
Yeah,
think if they would have finished like fourth or fifth, I think they would give it to them. But nine,
yeah,
10 in the play in, I don't think. they could have gave it to him.
Yeah,
But
nah, nah.
he definitely played MVP level the whole year.
He one of those actually. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to hear his history in the future because he's actually one of those that actually worked his way up, like he's
Oh
like
yeah,
North Macedonia, all that, and now top player in
right.
Europe. But yeah, I mean, listen, I mean, you just mentioned your uncle, so I just gotta ask. I mean, yeah, is the big brother, right?
Yeah, the big brother. Yep.
So, I mean, do you have moments in the family where, I mean, I just had a we had a family gathering long, not that far, I mean, 3 weeks ago, and it was the competitive, I mean, everybody's playing different sports. Still, we get into some
Right.
competitive mode when we probably have, when we get to the evening, like, for no reason. Like, do you have those moments where people, where the dads be like, yo, I used to bust your ass back in the day, so I was much better player than you, or like whatever going on, like because it sounds like I have some hoopers in the family.
We do, man. And the thing is, like,
Mhm.
my uncle's Chuck, he's around 60, and my dad's
Yeah.
early in his early 50s. Like these
Okay.
guys can still really shoot the basketball. So
Oh, exactly.
like a few weeks ago, like I mean, they don't have the legs anymore, but like
Yeah.
that form is still
It's
there.
still
And
there.
we did shooting competitions. Like I say, I played my uncle about 2 or 3 weeks ago. We do 5 spots. You got to make 5 from each spot, then you
Yeah.
move. All right, so he's at 60. He can't jump. All he has is upper body,
Yeah.
and he's shooting
Exactly.
NBA. He's shooting NBA threes. So
Oh,
we
yeah. It's
play.
different.
So I miss. So I go first. I miss my first shot. Then he goes immediately 17 straight before he misses. So then I come up behind him after my next shot. I make 24 straight. I missed the last one, 25 to win. Then he makes his next 7, misses on 25, and then I ended up
Ah.
beating him 25-24. So that just tells you the level of shooting he's still at. And then like my dad, obviously he can move a little bit better than my
Yeah.
uncle right now. And his form is like he's one of the best shooters I've ever seen as
Yeah.
far as just like form, rhythm, everything. And like we play like a best of 7, and I think I won 4-3. So like he's still shooting at that level, and he shoots it real easy, man. It's one of the prettiest jump shots, man. If you can pull it up and look
Yeah.
at it, man, it's incredible to
No,
watch
no, no.
still to this
I'm
day.
gonna watch more. I swear.
Yeah,
I found out today. I was like, hold up, he's actually a junior. Okay, but the
yeah,
fact
yeah.
this name still sounds familiar, right? And then I was like, I just took up the junior name, put the bam, his face came out. I was like, oh, okay. So, nah, man, man, it's about to be fun, man. But I think, man, listen, this has been a phenomenal interview, and I really appreciate you for getting back to me when I contacted you. And honestly, I would probably love to do it again. Maybe I don't know, end of season or mid season, just to see how things go. It would be nice for the younger audience if we can find
Yeah.
that time so they can experience how it is. Because I don't know, it's not from what I see, it's not that many players that are out there actually talking during the season. Like if
Yeah,
I
for
mean,
sure,
but
man.
that
For
of
sure.
course, if you don't want to do it, I get it too. Or if players don't want to do it because sometimes you just gotta stay locked in.
Yeah, no,
But
I mean, just let me know, man. I'm open to speak.
yeah,
And actually, we're playing in the EMBL this year, and I'm pretty sure we
okay.
have a Norway team in our in our pool. So maybe we might have a game in
Fe-
Norway. I don't know if it'll be home or away
Feeling
or not. But
you know what? I'm seeing if I can make it. Exactly. Yeah.
but yeah,
Okay. Keep me posted, man. It would actually be nice to meet you in person. But bro, listen, man, it's been phenomenal, man. Thank you for actually being on Simple B. It's gonna be a hit for sure,
yeah, man.
man.
I appreciate you bringing me on, man. I had a lot of fun. I really enjoyed talking basketball with you. So
Yeah, man.
yeah,
Thank you
man.
very
Big ups to
much.
you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Hold on. Let me stop.